When I say getting rich is easy, what do I mean? I mean in the Jim Rohn sense of easy. What does that mean? Jim Rohn said, somebody asked him, Mr. Rohn, he said, you struggled for the first 25 years of your life and you barely were able to eke out a meager existence. And he tells a story about how the Girl Scout came to his door and was selling cookies. And he said, oh, we bought cookies yesterday. But he lied to a Girl Scout. And he said, how low can you get to lie to a Girl Scout, right? And so he felt so badly about that. 5 years later, he was a millionaire. He said, people ask me, how did you go from struggling for 25 years to within 5 years becoming a millionaire? He said it was easy. He said, let me define easy. It was something I could do. And I submit to you that getting rich is easy because it's something you can do. In fact, there's a slight possibility that you could get rich doing something that you already do right now. You just have to do it in a different way and for a different group of people. So many people think they have to know everything before they do anything. I used to think, well, as soon as I learn how, I'm going to do it. But that's not how it works. You don't get to learn how until you start doing it. And my brother, I don't understand money. What do I mean? I've said this before, I'll say it again. Poor people think the primary purpose of money is paying bills. And because they think the primary purpose of making money is paying bills, they only seek to make enough money to pay their bills. That's one of the reasons people stay poor. If you want to go from being poor to being wealthy, you have to get to the place in your life, either through cutting your expenses or increasing your income, where you have some discretionary income left over at the end of all of your bills being paid. If you don't have any discretionary income left over, then you're either spending too much or you're not making enough, or a combination of both. Now, one of the reasons poor people have a hard time creating wealth and making enough money, in their, quote, spare time, I'm going to call it discretionary time, in their discretionary time, is because when you first start a business, generally speaking, it doesn't matter what the business is. It could be real estate, it could be insurance, it could be network marketing, it could be selling jewelry online, it could be affiliate marketing, it doesn't matter. When you first get started as a business, you don't generally come out of the gate making money. And because we've been programmed to get an education for the purpose of selling our time to the highest bidder, when we can't get paid initially, we're so addicted to a paycheck that we quit the business because we expected it to pay like a job. We expected it to pay us just for showing up. And businesses don't do that. Businesses only pay you for producing a result for someone other than yourself. Okay, cool. So, get to the place in your life where you're making more money and you're cutting your expenses. Cool. So, it's easy to get rich if, number one, you think like a rich person. Okay? How does a rich person think? The rich person thinks positive, poor people think negative. Okay, that's fine. Rich people believe their beliefs, doubt their doubts, and poor people believe their doubts and doubt their beliefs. Yeah, that too. But there's more to it than that. When I say think like a rich person, here's what I mean. If you're going to think like a wealthy entrepreneur, what you have to do is you have to think about, how can I solve a big problem? Think about that. People will pay you in direct proportion to the problem you solve for them. The bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. So, how can I solve a big problem? Do you understand Martha Stewart became a billionaire teaching women how to be better homemakers? Why? Because there's a big pool of people out there who want to be better homemakers, but their mom didn't teach them. Oh, I get it. How long do you have to go to physical therapy? You have to serve a big pool of people. So you solve a big problem, and then you serve that solution to a big pool of people. The bigger the problem and the bigger the pool of people, the more money you make. It's so simple, a third grader can understand it. This is not hard stuff. I do know how to do some hard stuff, but I do my best to do the more leverage stuff first, and then pay people to do the hard stuff, like cutting my grass, cleaning my pool, right? So you serve a big pool of people. Some of you aren't making money because the problem you solve isn't big enough. And as an entrepreneur, the problem you solve is a problem you desire to solve, but nobody desires to pay to have it solved. That's why you're struggling to be an entrepreneur, because you desire to solve a problem nobody wants to solve. But I wanted to do this for a living all my life. That has nothing to do with anybody out there. The other problem is you're wanting to solve the problem, but you're solving that problem for too small a pool of people. So when you think like a rich person, you think, okay, how can I solve this problem? How can I solve this problem? And then you figure out a solution. Ideally, you optimize that solution. After you optimize that solution, you systemize that solution. And then what you can do is you can monetize that solution. Why? Because you figured it out. You made it smooth. You took out all the bumps, all the hiccups. And then you made it available to a whole lot of people who have that problem. And then sell a better product. Better than what? Better than the products they have now that are solving that problem. And why do I say sell a product? Because you remember I'm going to do some millionaire math now. So there are two types of businesses. How many types? Talk to me, everybody. How many types? Two. You either have a business that sells a product, or you have a business that sells a service. If you have a business that sells a service that you have to fulfill, that service is anchored, that's an anchor, to time. Is time something you have in limited supply or unlimited supply? Limited supply. So if you anchor your solution to time, which you have in limited supply, then that solution, the money that can make you is going to be limited. Why? You only have so much time, right? So, but if you anchor to a product, like a book, right? If you anchor it to a product like a book, then it takes no longer to sell 100,000 books than it does to sell one. So what happens is, because once I take my business and I productize my solution, if I have a book that makes me $20 profit, all I have to do is sell 50,000 books. Now, I made that sound like an oversimplification. All I have to do is sell 50,000 books. Because 50,000 is a large number. But 50,000, how do I sell 50,000 books? Well, first, here's what you gotta do. You gotta write the book. And the book has to solve a big problem for a big pool of people. And then what you do is you find people on the internet who have the attention of that big pool of people. And you get some of those people to interview you in front of their audience. And then you talk about the solution. You don't talk about the book. You talk about the solution that you solve. And then at the end, you let them know they can buy the book if they want to know more. Okay? You sell 50,000 books. 50,000. If you're multiplying two numbers that end in zero, you multiply two whole numbers. 5 times 2 is 10. Then you count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Congratulations, you're a millionaire. Now this is why I'm saying, like, you sell a product. Now, you could take that same product and enhance it, move this zero off the back of this number, put it on the back of that number, and sell a $200,000 course or audio program, and now you only have to sell 5,000 units to make the same $1 million. And then if you move another zero, and you turn it into a $2,000 home study course, you only need to sell 500. Guess what? 500 is like 10 a week for a year. 10 a week is 2 a day, 5 days a week. You can have weekends off and 2 weeks of vacation and still make $1 million a year. Or you can move another zero and have a $20,000 mastermind. You don't have to sell 50. That's 1 a week. Or you can have a $200,000 VIP day and only sell 5. And you make $1 million. Now, when I say it's easy to get rich, here's what I mean. It's something you can do. But remember what else Jim Rohn said. He said, what's easy to do is also easy not to do. And Jim Rohn said, I took the lesser of two easies, which means I did the easy things that I could do for 5 years, and that's how I became rich. Now, so you think like a rich person, then you talk like a rich person. Do you know you can somebody's financial state in life by how they talk. Did you know that? So, here's what I mean. When I say talk like a rich person, here's what I mean. When you talk, you must let your words empower your expectations. Most people's words disempower their expectations. What do I mean when I say that? Most people's words disempower their expectations. What does that mean? It means people say things like, oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I don't know how to. I can't. I don't understand this. I don't understand that. You must let your words empower your expectations. Because your words are either going to empower your expectations or they're going to disempower your expectations. But they're your words. Figure out which one you want. They're your words, right? And so I have to decide. And here's what you may remember a couple of weeks ago or in one of my videos. I'm sure y'all remember because I said it last week. In order to have progress in any area of life, intention is required. Intention is always required for progress. But the only thing that's necessary for digression is neglect. You don't have to intend to make your life worse. All you have to do is not intend to make it better. What? Yeah, that was my caller, actually. Encouraging words like, oh man, stuff like this always works out in my favor. Everything always goes my way. How are you doing? You know what y'all say? Somebody says, how are you doing? You say, I'm above the dirt. Okay, so last week were you below the dirt? How you doing? I'm alive. Rich people don't talk like that. I'm alive. That's one of the reasons I spoke to you. How are you doing? Not too bad. What does that mean? I'm bad, but not too bad. How much worse do you have to be too bad? But we're not even conscious of the fact that this is how we talk. When people ask me how I'm doing, I'm utterly fantastic. Better now that I'm talking to you. How are you? Excellent, as always. Better now that I'm talking to you. And you know what people do? They laugh. I don't know if they're laughing at the fact that I'm excellent or the fact that I said I'm doing better now that I'm talking to them. And some of you say, well, you're not doing better just because you're talking to somebody. Yes, I am. Because I have the opportunity to address another human being who's made in the image of God. Let your words empower your imagination. Man, if you learn to ask this question, what if? What if I write a book and sell 100,000 copies? What if I start a business and it goes bonkers? I was watching a YouTube video on Jeff Bezos last night on this YouTube channel where it's a motivational YouTube channel. And the guy, Jeff Bezos, he said, I remember I was working on Wall Street. I went to my boss and I said, hey, I'm going to start a business where I'm going to sell books out of my garage. And I'm going to build $100 billion company and become the richest man in the world. Do you want to invest in my business? And then the guy said, you got to understand, when Jeff Bezos started Amazon, there was no such thing as a $100 billion company. And the guy basically laughed at me. You're going to become the richest man in the world. See, it didn't matter. Jeff Bezos' boss, his boss said to him, he said, that sounds like a really good idea. Here's what he said. For somebody who doesn't already have a great job. Aren't we all glad Jeff Bezos didn't listen to that guy? So, let your words expand your imagination. Like, learn to say words that help you clarify the vision that you have for your life so you can more easily step into it. And no, I'm not talking about speaking things into existence. I'm talking about speaking words of encouragement to allow your imagination to run wild. Imagine what it's going to be like to have a business that's successful, that employs people so that they can take care of their families. Imagine what it's going to be like so that you can start a business that solves other people's problems too. Imagine how awesome it's going to be to build a business that does 7 figures and then 8 figures and then maybe 9 figures. Imagine, like, use words that empower your imagination and cause you to see things bigger than you ever thought you could see things in the past. And then talk like a rich person. Let your words express your appreciation. I find it fascinating that there's so much lack of gratitude in the world. We have so much to be grateful for. Like what? Everything. Every good thing in your life is a gift. No, Myron, I built this business right. But the ability to build that business was a gift. And everybody didn't receive that same gift. If you're not grateful for it and you think you're the catch-all end-all, you want to know how little control you are? Just think about how much control you have the next time you go to a funeral. That'll let you know that you have way less than you thought you had before you showed up that day. Like, express appreciation for the people in your lives while you can. Your tongue is not gonna break if you say thank you. Action. You know what I'm good at? Here's what's interesting. The way to get good at something is by being bad at it and keep doing it long enough to get good. I got started in network marketing in '85, selling insurance and investments through a company called A.L. Williams. I was terrible. I was terrible at sales. I was terrible at recruiting. I was terrible. Like, it took me 18 months to make my first sale, but I didn't quit. You know why I didn't quit? Because there was no other arena that I had ever seen where I knew anybody that was making $10,000 a month. And I knew people were making $10,000 a month in 1985. I said, I'm going to learn how to do this thing called selling. And I did presentation after presentation after presentation. Family members said no, friends said no, strangers said no, everybody said no. So, bro, no. It's a 2-letter word. What part are you having a hard time with? The N or the O? And so I stayed bad at it, but I kept doing it until eventually somebody said yes. And I said, what'd you say? And once I found the formula that got to yes, man, I documented that process and then put it on rinse and repeat. You might as well get good at sales. So I said, I'm going to get good at sales. I got good at sales. I went from being terrible to good. The good thing about somebody who went from being terrible to good is this. If somebody was terrible and they stayed in something long enough to get good and they paid attention, they can probably teach somebody else who's not good at it how to get good. Passion and action. You learn how to do something that you love to do, and then you teach other people how to do it. That's what I do. That's what I would recommend you do. Do you understand the world is changing so fast? What if there was nobody out there to teach you how to use AI? What if there were nobody out there to teach you how to build a website? What if there's nobody out there to teach you how to build a sales funnel? What if there's nobody out there to teach you how to write a book? You think you're just going to figure it out on your own? Take passionate action. I love teaching business action. What does that mean? Take productive and profitable action. Take the kind of action that makes you better as you produce profits by changing other people's lives with a big problem that you've solved. This is how we do it. This is how everybody does it. Who doesn't? It's how everybody does it. So, my recommendation to you is do the easy things you can do. Forget the rest. Here's the beauty of it. I don't have to be Michael Jordan. I don't have to be Jeff Bezos. I don't have to be Tiger Woods. You don't have to be me. I don't have to be you. We can all be ourselves and serve a big pool of people with a big problem that we solve in our own little corner of the world, and the world becomes a better place. That's what I would recommend. Hope this video helps you. Stay blessed by the best, and we'll see you on the next video.